Hi Virgo, and welcome to your October 2016 reading. As always, you can use this for your sun sign, for your moon, and for your rising. All right, let's take a look at the channeled information that I got while I was shuffling the deck for you. Very clearly, I was seeing that this is a month of you working with other people, being intrinsic to basically your success, and even if you're not very comfortable sort of being in a large group or sharing tasks, cooperation is absolutely something you want to focus on. So the other thing is, it is a month, and I've seen this for a few signs, but I would try to avoid escalating arguments or negotiations or any sort of legal stuff this month as well. I think you really want to focus on trying to settle things outside of official channels. So it is a month of just being able to have a face-to-face, heart-to-heart conversation and allowing that to be a de-escalation if possible. Let's quickly look at your Catalyst card. I'll be using an Archangel Michael deck for that. And Catalyst cards are all about what you need to do to set you on the right path. Think of, chemistry, where this is sort of what gets things moving, gets things going. We want to look at your life in the very same way. So self-respect came through. And there's a lot of reflective cards this month about yourself as I'm pulling the Catalyst cards. It's not so much about other people. A lot of self-reflection, sort of self-love, and this one is about looking within and doing things that only feel like they're good with your heart and your soul. I'll read the words on here a little bit, but it's basically, please guide me to speak up on my own behalf. I ask for your protection in relationships, and I'm surrounded by loving and kind people. Okay, so I would take this a step further too and say, if you're asked to do something that compromises your moral sort of core, then this is a month where you have to think, maybe it's not worth it. Money is not worth sort of sacrificing who you are, or a position of power or status may not be worth losing the respect, not just of others, but of yourself. So this is a month to really be true to you, even if it means possibly losing something that you thought was important, like a title or a raise or a special treatment, because at the end it doesn't feel good inside. It makes you feel uneasy. So I really want you to pay attention to that, and you're the only sort of judge of what is right and wrong ultimately. So if something feels not good to you, then don't do it. All right, let's take a look at the cards now and see what other information is coming through for you. All right, there's a lot of changes for your sign this month. I'm seeing that for many signs, there's either a catalyst happening where you are sort of like shifting out, maybe a tower event, or maybe a death card. For you, it's a little more subtle, but we do have right here the Blasted Oak card, which is an indication of a tower here. What I like about this card is it actually reminds me of the Hanged Man. So I see you getting out of a phase where you couldn't do what you wanted to do, or you were being sort of like put in a corner and not appreciated, and this is your month to sort of push through that. Either say, I can't do this anymore, this doesn't suit who I am or what I want to do, or you just walk away. It's okay. Sometimes we are supposed to let go and walk away. For some of you, this could mean uneasiness or a lack of security when it comes to a living situation. So it's a good month to make sure that if you need help, you talk to friends and family, and do what you can to secure those basic essentials in your life, food, water, all of that. But living situation, a house, is part of that. So for some of you, you may need to either move, or you may find yourself looking for a new roommate situation, something like that. All right, let's go card by card and see what this month has in store for you. So right at the center, we have a moon card. It's a beautiful one here, showing that I actually really got to, not just because it is a moon, but I think that for you, you're going to have a lot of creativity around early evening this month. So if you are an artist and have been sort of stuck, try maybe sleeping earlier in the day and staying up or doing some things nocturnally, because you may find a lot more creative juices flowing in the evening hours. For other people, this card's reversed, and we have the Seven of Cups right here on top of it. So what I'm seeing with this is paying attention to, if you're a woman, this has a lot to do with cycles and might have to do with pregnancy. And what I'm seeing here is the first 7 days of the month for that could be a little tricky. And if you're trying to start a family, it's looking better towards the middle of the month. For those of you that are not women or not trying to get pregnant, what I'm seeing here with the Seven of Cups is a chance for you to sort of let go of some things that are distracting. So if you have basically too many things on your plate at work, if you have way too many things that you're committed to, this is a month when you have to sort of pare back and let go. And we see this little skull in the background, and it's about, sometimes it's hard to think, you know what, I've been doing this, maybe it's a meetup that you've been doing for weeks, and it felt good at the beginning, but now you just sort of feel like you're going out of obligation. Anything in your life, maybe it's a sport after work or after school, and it just isn't resonating anymore. You would be better to spend your time focusing on what you want to do than having like 15 different activities every week that are just zapping your energy. And that's really what I'm seeing here when I look at the King of Stones in reverse, is that it's pulling your resources down a little bit, and you're feeling maybe a little bit sluggish. So saying no is step one in making that a little bit better. When we look at the Six of Stones here, this one is actually a pretty decent card. Let me pull it close up here. What I see for this is, once you've made a decision on what you want to focus on, there'll be a lot of energy. These are almost like beehives here, but they're actually, it's actually rope coiled up. So you're going to have more energy to go around and more sort of like slack, basically, to take on new challenges or to do better if there's been something that's been really, really challenging for you. It's a great month to start a new job, to look for new work, or to try to look for new investment. Basically, Ace of Stones, and this deck's stones are Earth, and that's Pentacles. It's a chance for you to find new monies, new way to make money, and also a way to get ahead at work if you haven't previously. Looking at the Two of Bows, in this deck, that's the Two of Wands. The reversal of this card is saying it's time to significantly forecast and look at your future. So, and take control. This one actually says decision. So if you've been feeling a sense of hesitation, or you've been very indecisive on what you want to do, maybe you're coming close to graduation and it's about, what am I going to do for a career after this? Or maybe you've been in your career for about 20 years and you're thinking, I'm not sure if I want to be doing this. This is saying that's okay, but you have to take charge, take ownership, and make a decision about what you want to do. And around the second week of the month, that'll be a very good time to do this. And this is something over the next 3 months that you really want to spend a lot of energy on. It may result in some of you moving out of whatever it is that you're doing, maybe even before it's done. So some of you may decide, I don't need to finish this course of study, this certification, or, you know what, I thought I was going to stick with this job for 5 years, but I think this year is it. So you're going to have a decision to make, planning-wise, and it may shift you out of a very tried and true plan. For those of you that decide to stay with what you're on, whatever plan or whatever goal it is, when I look at the Five of Stones here, it's a great message here as well. It's about endurance. And so this is saying, okay, if you decide you want to go for it, then don't beat yourself up later about thinking, well, maybe I shouldn't have. You make the decision, and then you start to invest energy into it, because all of these earth signs, the Five of Stones, this is saying work is necessary. And 5 is not a card of abundance, it's a card of really focusing on the efforts. It's a great way to start something new, but you want to make sure that you take care of yourself, that your energy is where it needs to be, that you say no to things that you don't need to take on, and then you'll have the energy to go forward. What I'm looking at here in your hopes and fears is Knight of Bows, and this is really reading to me about inner wisdom. A lot of times we don't pay attention to our own thoughts, our own great intuition. So for you, don't let people talk you in or out of something. Be stronger-willed, because the reversal for me, whenever I'm looking at bows or wands reverse, it means actually to be a little bit more headstrong and stubborn. And for you, once you've made your mind up, there may be people that try to talk you down another path. And for this, once you've considered all the options, just be strong. That's what this is saying. Don't second guess. And what I'm seeing you in is about a 10-month cycle of financial change, career change, and possibly residence change, or change of residency, I should say. So what you're going to be doing is, it's a very, I guess you could say it's a year of growth, of shifting, and hopefully of upward mobility, because the Wheel of Fortune, even in reverse, shows me the capacity to do more than you thought you could do, to make more than you thought you could make, and possibly for a really big break to happen. But for that to really materialize, you have to be clear on what you want, and you have to seize that opportunity and then be very solid in it. Okay? Let's expand this out to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny, and see what else is coming through for you. Let me give this a good shuffle. That's funny that indecision came up, and that's basically what this card is telling you to do, is be more decisive. So for your general health, it is time to two things. One, this can have to do with making decisions to improve your health, to be better, to be healthier. Absolutely do that. The other thing is the stress that happens with indecision will go away once you've made a decision. And it says, I'll use my intuition in all aspects of life, and I think I told you with this card that your inner wisdom is what you need to be listening to, and you need to be sort of as steady as a rock when we look at this card. So I believe the closer you can get to that, and the faster you can get to that, the better your sort of mental well-being is going to sort of feel for you this month. Now when we take a look at your wealth, career, and money opportunities, Dragon's Lair. I like this because dragons are surrounded by riches, but riches that are protected by this fire-breathing dragon. So what you need to be is brave. If you're going to go after two things, you want to protect the assets that you have, just like a dragon would. The other thing is, if you're trying to go in and achieve something new and go after treasure, you have to be brave. You have to go after it. Think of the hero that would go in and slay the dragon. Sometimes you have to fight your way to the top. So what this card is saying is, in the long run, if you want to do this, you have to plan your sort of like all of your strategy for the attack, for how you're going to be successful. And you want to build your own empire. I think a lot of you may be on the route of self-employment or freelancing, particularly with this card. So if you find yourself doing more of that sort of contractual work, I guess you could say, then you have to have a plan and you have to protect your resources. I'm not seeing right now a need or a desire to spend a lot of money. I think it is more about saving and planning. When we look at, you know what, this card is the one that wants to come out even though I was going to shuffle. So we looked at health, wealth, this is love. And the way to meet someone this month is through doing very physical activities, such as dancing, team sports, anything where you're actually going to be walking and interacting with people. It's not about sitting inside, but I really get that dance is a fantastic thing to meet someone. So maybe you decide to take salsa lessons, or maybe you decide to join a new Pilates class or something like that, or a ballet class. It's all about movement. So try to find a way to get out of your comfort zone and meet new people through activities. All right, when we look at your, let's see, we looked at health, wealth, love. Finally, we're going to look at destiny. Destiny is something you can change, but this is showing me a peek into next month, and also what your present course of action is sort of leading you down, if it's positive, if it's negative. All right, and so for this, hard to shuffle deck, sorry. The card that I'm getting here is showing prayer, and also, I believe we're going back to prayer and intention with this. And for some of you, you may be living a little bit of a duality, a double life. having a period where until you've built up sort of the resources that we're looking at in this Dragon's Lair, the riches, maybe you have to save 6 months or a year's salary to get where you want to go, you may be working 2 jobs. And be kind to yourself and feel like both of them are helping you. One is providing the means, and the other one is sort of feeding your soul and your passion in your life. So it's okay sometimes to have this sort of duality that I'm seeing in this card. What I do like about this is I get a definite sense of fertility or an ability to bring forth what you want. So just don't feel too pulled back or frustrated by the fact that you might have to do 2 things at once. A lot of us do, and I know it's not always fun. All right, so let's summarize everything that came through. The first one is cooperation. Really a better month to try to achieve, I guess, a positive outcome without litigating, without arguing, and without conflict is the best way to sum it up. Great month for intuition. It's coming through in 2 different cards here with the Moon and with the King of Wands, King of Bows. It's also a time for you to be really decisive and to make up your mind on what you want to do, to let go of some things that you maybe have committed to but no longer make you happy. You're going to have more energy if you do that. Pay special attention to your physical health and your physical energy. I want you to have more, and that's why I'm stressing that it would be good to say no to some of these things. Job opportunities are going to come up, at least one, but you want to make sure that you're on the right path for your long-term success. So maybe that doesn't involve a 9-to-5 in your case. If it doesn't, then plan and save. Some of you may be moving because of the Blasted Oak card showing a change of residence or a need to be more comfortable with staying different places. So maybe you're traveling a lot, living in and out of suitcases or in a hotel because of work for a little bit. Know that that's temporary. Once you've made up your mind to go down a path, just stick with it, because I do see long-term potential for growth and money. When we expand, by the way, for dating and love this month, I'm not seeing a lot of new relationships coming through, but with the Ace of Stones, this can mean that for those of you that are in existing relationships, it's a great time to propose. And for those of you that are looking for new relationships, you could meet a very headstrong fire sign coming through this month, an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius. But overall, the energy here isn't showing that the main focus will be relationships, but I do see 2 personalities coming through. Okay. Or 2 opportunities. I should say one is more of an engagement if you're with a relationship, and the other one is about possibly meeting a fire sign if you're single. All right, so your catalyst this month is to really take a look at yourself, to be true to your morals, and not to relent. If someone is trying to push you in a place you don't want to go, don't go there. When it comes to health, the closer you can get to a decision, this card was reversed, the easier you're going to feel sort of like in your day-to-day life, and that's going to reduce stress and all the stress-related effects. Also, it's great to make a commitment and a decision to be healthier, to do things positive for your health. When we look at your wealth, it's about building up a sort of like a nest egg and the security that you need. It's like the treasure that sits around a dragon. You want to have that treasure so you can do whatever you'd like to do in life. Social activities, particularly dancing, sports, and any type of activity where you're moving and you're with people, that's going to be great. Even like a triathlon, some weird sort of things could come out of sports and activities this month when it comes to romance. And there may be a need for you to temporarily hold 2 jobs, to sort of have 2 personalities as you're projecting what your practical day-to-day life is and what your true artistic self is. So if you are an artist that's trying to save up and do something else, maybe you're a musician, maybe you're a writer, maybe you're a painter, whatever that is, then it's okay. You're going to have a couple things that you're doing, and one may feed the other in a surprising way. So that's all the information for this month. If you'd ever like a personal one-on-one reading, I do offer those, and I have a little bit more availability over the next 2 months, so feel free to take advantage of that. To keep in touch and know when I'm posting new videos or meditations, I plan to do a meditation this month, you can subscribe to this channel. That's the easiest way. I also have a newsletter, and I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And finally, I always like to say thank you and offer a little bit of gratitude, because you guys have been great. Every month, you're very kind with the comments. A lot of you take time to email me or just to like and subscribe here, and all of those things really keep me motivated and show me that you care. If you'd like to donate, I'll also put a button at the end. That's completely optional, but very much appreciated. Otherwise, I will see you in 1 month's time. And as always, really my pleasure and honor to be with you. And I'll see you in November. I can't believe we're already heading towards the end of the year. So Satnam, and take care of yourselves in the meantime.